In today's episode, viewer discretion is advised. We're in Hamilton, Ontario, known locally as Steeltown or the Hammer because of the long-standing iron ore industry in Hamilton. Nestled on the western shore of Lake Ontario, Hamilton has an eclectic mix of industry and new age bohemian life. In the heart of Hamilton, it is one of the most interesting antique stores I have ever visited, and it's run by my friend Mark Drack. And today we're going to take you in and you're going to see some of the oddest, strangest Victorian pieces you have ever seen. So come join me today because this is going to be a wild ride.
This is the only thing that gives me structure, as crazy as that sounds. I don't see myself doing anything else but this. We try to create an environment here that is entirely unique and distinct from any other place you could go. Most people, or a lot of people that come in, they refer to it as a museum. I've tried to create a space that we can invite people in that want to explore. Even though it's still a shop, it's that museum you go to where if you just can't live without it, you don't have to. After years of working with this collection and getting to this point where it's here on display as a store, we've done so many different shows. We've worked with Guillermo del Toro, we've worked with Tim Burton, we work with Disney, we do all the Netflix and the Prime shows, titles that you would definitely recognize and quite confident saying they'd be a lot of your favorite shows. People come through and they enjoy it, they're blown away by it. Some people are a little freaked out by it, which is great.
My name's Mark Drack, and I'm the owner of Cabinet of Curiosities here in Hamilton, Ontario.
Where do you find this stuff, Mark?
One of the questions I'm asked a lot is, where do I find this stuff? So, I mean, it's kind of a benign answer, but it's still really unique, even still to me, because a lot of this material can be found in the strangest places. It can be found in basements and attics, on store shelves, in completely innocuous places. You know, a lot of the best picks I've ever been on have been in, modern suburbs, where I've walked in and I've walked out with a 16th century samurai sword, or another one I walked out of, we're really big on natural history here, so I walked out with a beautiful marquetry box, completely inlaid with all natural woods from New Zealand, and it was still full of at least a couple of dozen sheets of 1860s newspapers, and in between each sheet was, of course, a fern specimen. So this is where the owner, the publisher, basically probably passed away, and this was his inventory that was left in this marquetry box. And we're talking 1860, so 175 years now, 165 years. Nobody's going to catch me on math, so 165 years. So bottom line is, never assume, because the wildest material is in the most common places. Majesty's Justice of the Peace within the County of Huron from September Sessions 1869 to December 1869, right? So what they did was, after the court convictions for that period, they would print this sheet out and they would put it at the post office, the community hall, they put it at the sheriff's office, mercantile, right? And they're going to shame all the convictions. So they list everybody's name and they'd list the charges and then the convictions, right? So what I did is
Mark, are any of these items haunted?
I get asked that almost on a daily basis. And I'm a storyteller. And I can spin a yarn that could suit any Hollywood script, but I don't. In fact, at one point I had a tagline that I'm going to use actually, which is going to be fully transparent. So it's myth or mystery, fact or fiction. It's up to you to decide. As far as actual hauntings, this is the location. I've been here in Hamilton for just under 5 years. I haven't experienced anything personally here. There's vibrations, there's sometimes very subtleties, but I can't tell you how many customers have come in. I've had people come in and start saging. You know, they think they're doing me a favor, which I'm fine with. I don't call anybody out, you know, and I do believe in it, but they've come in without even asking me. They're so overwhelmed by the shop and they start saging. There have been very specific areas in the shop that have routinely been called out by customers with symptoms, with headaches, with cramps, dizzy, euphoria. All kinds of different symptoms. But as far as me, I think maybe, you know, I've kind of closed up my third eye. There's been such a level of chaos that's been consistent. And my belief is that you need that third eye wide open to perceive it. Anyway, right? But I do 140 to 160 when the wind hits you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
Okay, so you got that and you got the chandelier.
Can I take this necklace?
Okay, sure. So that is 135, 145, 155 times 1.13. So 175.15 is going to be the total. 515, review.
So, Mark, what's the craziest thing you've ever found?
Number one question, what's the craziest thing? Because the shop is overwhelming, as it is supposed to be. It is literally, the intent is to overwhelm you, and it's kind of create a sense of wonder and magic and just one WTF moment after another. But it occurred to me the other day, because so much comes through and I do forget. It occurred to me not long ago, the craziest thing, one of the most disturbing things as well that I've ever had in the shop was for lack of a better term, a mummy's. Yeah, a mummy's. So apparently they did dismember mummies as well, and there were ossuary type pots or smaller tombs where there would be, you know, treated and mummified body parts. So I ended up, out of the Niagara Falls Museum collection, by way of Billy Jameson from History Channel's Treasure Trader, I ended up with this mummy's dead. Now, so to blow the story totally out of proportion, here's how crazy it went. I tried to do research on a mummy's dead. What do you do for research? I couldn't find any answers. Nobody was getting back to me. I tried major museums. Nobody was getting back to me. So finally I started finding some tidbits online, and one of the things I found was that King Tut's was missing. I lost it. I couldn't believe it. I was freaked out. I was utterly convinced that I had King Tut's. And the reason being that it came out of the Niagara Falls Museum, and anybody familiar with the Niagara Falls Museum has probably heard that the Pharaoh Ramses was in Niagara Falls for, we're assuming, over 150 years. The second Pharaoh of Egypt, and nobody knew. So I'm thinking, is this a stretch that I could have King Tut's from Niagara Falls Museum? Well, I doubled down on it. I started hounding the major museums, hounding them. Finally, one of them calls back for the simple fact that they can't stand me calling anymore. So I launched this assault on the phone. I've got King Tut's. I've got King Tut's. And the person on the other end jumps in, cuts me off, exasperated, says, "You don't have King Tut's. It's been found." I said, "Okay, well, that's not going to slow me down. How rare is a mummy's? I've got a mummy." So I'm tripping out over. Again, she stops me dead in my tracks. She's all exasperated again. She goes, "We have tons of mummy in the basement." That stopped me dead in my tracks. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? Right? They went on to say that as a major reputable museum, if they put out mummy on display, that's all the museum would be known for. People would come in and they'd go see, they tour the museum, and then they'd come out and they'd tell all the friends, did you see the mummy? So, long story short, I had a mummy's. It was legit. In the antiquity world, in the world of antiquities, it wasn't really a big deal in Egyptology. However, I did trade it to a major collector for a substantial trade, which was well done on both sides. So that's the weirdest, most unusual, likely disturbing item that I've had in the shop. Oh, right on. Okay, 30 bucks. Card. Okay. Okay, so this is one of the key pieces, one of my favorites in the shop, because there's a crossover of the shop. We do a tremendous amount of prop rentals for film and television. We've been working with Guillermo del Toro all the way back to The Strain, and my full-length, full-size articulated Victorian skeleton will be featuring this month, November of 2025, in Guillermo del Toro's latest picture, Frankenstein. So he's not really up for autographs, but you can come in and do a couple of selfies. You know, for an original period, like that would have been a large album filler, right? You know, but it's original period too, right?
Okay, Mark, where can people find you?
We are located in Hamilton, east end of Hamilton, at 341 Ottawa Street North. We're on the corner of Burton and Ottawa. It's all about the next score.
I ran a magazine for years, so yeah, youth magazine. For somewhere where I can actually like keep those papers in.
Yeah.
I'd like to do stuff like that. I want to build. I have a little oddity shelf I want to build.
Oh yeah.
For now, but there is a doll.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's hidden and she doesn't really have eyes.
In here?
Yeah.
Let's see which one.
Speaks to me. The little one with the blue dress.
Okay, let's have a
I don't
look.
know what it is.
Let's see.
Every time I do I always come home with these dolls. So I hung them and made a seance for Halloween.
Oh yeah.
And all of our neighbors were like, that is amazing. We had, like, she was hanging from over top of a blood fountain.
Alright.
Oh, she's even stranger.
Okay, everyone, I am back from that shop, and that was absolutely crazy. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Join me next week. We have some more incredible content coming your way, so join us next week, and we'll see you in the next video.
You should have zoomed in. Do a zoom. Do a zoom in on my nipple. Zoom in right now. Hold on. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Did you get my nipple?